pull out those raffle tickets and get ready to win something good.
Wait,
Here we go.
And what are they?
First number, 576126. We got a winner. Oh, it's 2 movie tickets and some candy. Okay, the next prize we're going to do is a Subway gift card and also some more candy. So we got 576161. 161 out there. 161.
Oh, cow. No winner.
Wow. Cool. Congratulations. Okay, our next one is a Starbucks gift card, and guess what? More candy. And we have 576156. 156. Oh, we got a winner over here. Sorry, Deborah. Oh, and then we have some more, one more Subway. And this is going to be our last drawing for this break. We have 576068. Any takers out there? 068. Oh, there we go. Congratulations.
No, they're not doing We're talking.
All right, Brian, you want to come up and introduce?
Before I introduce the next guest, what I want to do is give a round of applause to that Path to Leadership presentation. I thought that was a fantastic presentation. And what I'm starting to see is it looks like every year that group or whoever's in that particular cohort group is stepping it up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next year. So I'm going to lay that out there now. So for those folks who are interested in the Path to Leadership program, it should be, I think sign-ups should start up in September, around about September. So if you're interested in it, please give it some thought and talk to your supervisor and or your manager in terms of your interest. And like I said, we'd like to see you up here next year doing a presentation in terms of your leadership challenge, your leadership change, and your leadership ideas in terms of what we can be doing here within BIBS. And one of the things that my takeaway from there is that individual contributor. If you don't have to have a title in order to contribute to this organization, that is absolutely right. So I expect all of us to be individual contributors. I've said this once before and I'll say it again, we're all managers if we're no more than managing our own time. So be strategic in how you use your time in order to try to achieve the goals that you have for yourselves. And then finally, I heard the term fear. I want to make sure that there is no fear in this organization. Okay, that's my role. I don't want anyone to have any fear. If you do have fear, please come to my office and we can talk through that. But I want you guys to to know that I'm here to support you in what you're trying to do here in your organization. So my door is always open. Please feel free. And I'm going to extend that offer also to the mechanics in the city. Please, even all for Joe, if he wants to come downtown to meet with me, that's fine. My door is always open. So, with that being said, I'm going to move on to the next thing on our agenda. I'm going to introduce Joaquin Lopez. He is a creative collaborator. I think I said that right. He's going to give us a story, a personal story, in terms of what change and change management means to him. So, with no further ado, why don't you come on up, Joaquin, as I try to talk through this, your summary here. So, he's a people person, creative collaborations. He enjoys poetry. And one thing he has learned is he's learned there's nothing like accepting your reality and letting go of your perception. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Check, 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everybody. How are you this evening? I'm so used to performing in the evening. So how are you this morning? Good? Great. Let me just organize this little thing. I did it this morning, so I know I can do it again. Shit. Sorry. Okay, I think I got it. If not, do we have a piece of a tape? Okay, is it still? I think it's still. Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Joaquin Lopez, and I am those things. I'm a speaker performer. I go to PSU. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I produce events. And I think more than everything, more than all those things, is that I'm a very imaginative and creative person. And I enjoy life, and I enjoy just going at it 100%. And I'm really pleased to be here with you and just to talk about my experience and how I work through or don't work through change. Let's go to the next slide. So today's presentation is going to feature a short story. So it's a little early for stories, but I think it'll be fine. What I do is I interweave songs. So you guys see a guitar here? I interweave song with spoken word to give you an impact about what I'm talking about and what I'm eliciting in the story. And this next story that I have for you is called Movie Madness at the Hollywood Theater. Raise your hand if you've ever been to the Hollywood Theater. Yes? Okay, so you all know the Hollywood Theater. So I produce a lot of events at the Hollywood Theater. I'm also on their board, so it's a place that's very close to my heart. And this next performance I'm going to present to you is about an experience I had at the Hollywood Theater, presenting a film series. And the film series was called Olin Social Justice Film Series. Next slide, please. So today's presentation will include the narrative, Movie Madness at the Hollywood Theater, some live music. I'm going to play some music and sing with you. Now here's a little interaction if you guys want to participate. You will recognize the song, and if you're so inclined, you can sing with me. All right? Because I can't do everything by myself. So if you recognize the song, just sing along. I know you'll know it. And then I'd like to get some immediate reactions on the story. And then we'll have a little lecture conversation about the story through a lens of change management. Sound good? Yeah. Yes? Okay, class. I feel like I've got a morning class with you. Like an elementary school morning class, right? Because I'm going to be doing story time. Just don't take a nap. Next frame. So today's goals really for with our time together is to have fun, to laugh, maybe even sing, and to look outside the box when it comes to change management. Now, I'm now going to talk to you about how to receive the information I'm giving you, because if you haven't noticed yet, I'm like all over the place, right? So I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you here understand how I'm communicating to you. Next slide, please. So who am I and why am I speaking in front of you? I already said my name is Joaquin Lopez, and I've got all those different kind of roles that I play in my life, right? And why do I do the things I do? Well, honestly, my friends, my personal mission in life is to feel that I belong and that I pertain to this world. And we all have our things that move us, or not move us, but the things that we are driven and that give us passion to do the work that we do. And every day I get up because I want a sense of belonging. And as I've grown older and as I've experienced life, I've seen that I'm drawn to the organizations and systems because I realize that organizations and systems are places of belonging, places that we all can pertain to. So my heart is leaning towards that. So I have a light, and my light, my friends, is like I have a big emotional life. I've got a crazy, wild imagination that you're going to experience. I tend to be non-linear, so I'm so sorry. For those of you that are like linear, I'm so sorry. Like the drivers before that they were talking about. Yeah, this is going to be, I'm going to be definitely like that promoter, right? So I tend to be non-linear, big pictures oriented, and I enjoy being inspirational. Now, my light does cast a shadow. And when that shadow is cast, I tend to be a little insecure, pretty bombastic and full of myself. And I manage my feelings of inferiority all the time. So even while I'm performing up here for you guys, I've got this person back here saying, "What are you doing here? You're so dumb. Oh my gosh." And then I've got this other person saying, "Just give it up, Joaquin. Just move forward. Put one foot in front of the other and just walk. I'm like, okay. So what I do to bridge my light and my shadow is I use storytelling. And I like to produce events. I like to create and produce events where all people are welcome and that celebrate my cultural heritage and that bring everybody together to have a good time. And I really enjoy music and performing. And that's what you will experience today. So as you're receiving my information, just kind of know it's not linear. Know that it's like this. Listen to the emotional impact and hold your questions for the end because I will have questions for you. And at this point, do we have any questions regarding what I've presented so far? No? Okay. All right. How about the next slide? So, regarding change, my family runs La Bonita restaurant on Alberta Street. Some of you might be familiar with it. And give it up to us. You did it. This is, La Bonita is very close to my heart. We began with a dream. My father just purchased the building at a time when it was available in 2000. We had no idea that the Alberta Arts District was going to go in, and we didn't know anything about restaurant management at all. And we just had to make it work. And we made it work. Eventually, it took a lot of trial and error, and we just had to learn how to change with the times. And all of a sudden, everybody on Alberta wanted veggie burritos. And we're like thinking, what's a veggie burrito? I've never heard of a veggie burrito. But we said, okay, do we stick to what we don't know, or do we learn what it is people want and then sell it to them? And maybe we can eat too and get paid. So, we adapted and we moved with the change. So that's my family here. My brother is over here on the right. My sister, and then my father and my mother. And so now I don't work there anymore because I decided I needed to differentiate myself and be my own person, and so I moved on. But my brother and my sister work there, and my mother. And my father, he doesn't work there. He only works once a week on the weekends as a janitor. My mom and my dad are no longer together, and so that's kind of the arrangement that it is now. That's the set of Portlandia. They used our space one season, and then there's some tacos that we sell. Yummy. Next slide. So I've got about 10 years producing cultural events. They've ranged from like culinary expositions to film series that I'll be talking about. Voz Alta is an event where I take true stories and I rewrite them into a poetic narrative performed by actors and musicians, and that's what you will experience today as soon as I'm done talking, that very thing. So I've learned how to adapt. I've learned what to do when I get phone calls from performers about an hour before the performance telling me, hey, I'm not going to make it, something came up. And I'm like, holy moly. how am I gonna get through this? So I always I put a note in my head and I say to myself, always bring a guitar wherever you go produce, because you'll never know when you can just take it out and serenade the crowd to buy some time, right? Next slide. And so then I've also got, when I said I needed to differentiate myself, I really needed to differentiate myself, and I decided to apply for a job at Latino Network as Arts and Culture Manager, and I got it. And so I overlook the dance program, the photography program in the high schools, and down below I also organize festivals in parks, with movies in the park, with parks and recreation. And in all those things, there's a few things I've learned about management. And I just had I had an event last Saturday, and our caterer pulled out, the entertainment pulled out, the sound system was not working, and we had to move forward. And so I've learned a few things along the way that I'll talk about later. Next slide. And I'm also a counselor in training at Portland State University. Isn't that just the funniest slide? We don't do that anymore, but I just thought it was very entertaining. And next slide. Oh, so I'm human, I've learned how to endure change. So as I was thinking about you guys, I was like, yeah, you know what, I've gone through a journey from this little boy here to like these persons that I think are me, and that I'm now sharing with you. So are we ready for movie madness? Yeah? Next slide. Anybody here play the guitar? Yeah? Awesome. Yeah? Playing an instrument is one of the greatest loves and opportunities that we get to do in the world, and play music. And I'm going to test the sound, and I'm going to test the guitar to make sure you guys can hear me, and then we'll begin. Can you guys hear this? Yeah? And can you understand what I'm saying while I'm talking? Yes, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, everything clear? All right. I need to take my jacket off. All right, so movie madness at the Hollywood Theater. At work at Latino Network, I manage a film series called Olin Social Justice Film Series, and it happens at the Hollywood Theater. We feature films as a way to lead the conversation about social justice issues of today. The movie that we presented last year, we presented 3. One was Pan's Labyrinth, the second one was Salt of the Earth, and the third one was El Norte. This story is about the second installment that we presented for Orleans Social Justice Film Series. And the movie is called Salt of the Earth. Has anybody ever heard of this movie, Salt of the Earth? Yes? Great. This Salt of the Earth is a wonderful movie. You can get it on YouTube. And it was one of the first movies that featured a Mexican-American family as a protagonist in a major feature. And it was also union-backed. And it was just not heard of. And because of that, the movie got blacklisted, as did the actors, as did the directors. So it was never really seen. And then it just later on received a resurgence for the movie. So it's called Salt of the Earth, and it's a really wonderful movie. Sometimes I ask myself, I don't know if you guys do this, sometimes I ask myself, what am I doing? How is it that we get in front of people and play instruments and sing? Does anybody anybody else ask themselves why it is they get up in the mornings? I don't understand. Okay, y'all can hear this, right? All right, you guys ready? Yeah, okay, here we go. March 13th, 2017, 7 p.m. sharp. It's Movie Madness! We are at the Hollywood Theater on Sandy Boulevard for the screening of the 1954 black and white classic movie, Salt of the Earth. Popcorn is popping, candy wrappers are crackling, the updated 1926 marquee is glowing in neon lights, sparkling. The cash register is singing, ka-ching, ka-ching. People are pouring in. It's a sold-out event. And as a cultural arts producer, we've hit jackpot. And I'm speechless. Talking away, I don't know what to say, I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you. Tonight, we are screening the second installment of Olin, Social Justice Film Series, the brainchild of Latino Network and Hollywood Theater. This new series explores social justice through film, followed by conversations led by local advocates and elected officials in response to the current state of affairs of the United States of America. It's a divided world we live in. We each have a voice, and each one of us is right. It's time to start talking and listening for common understanding and respect. We can move forward together with lights, camera, and action. Bring it on! Shine away. I'll be coming for your love. Okay, take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. It's 7:15 p.m. District 47 House Representative Diego Hernandez is in the house. It's 7:17 p.m. City of Portland Outreach and Policy Advisor Andrea Valderrama makes her entrance. Together, they're leading the conversation after the film. It's 7:20 p.m. From the corner of my eye, Latino Network's Executive Director, Carmen Rubio, arrives. She saves me a spot, dead center, for a perfect straight view of the screen. 7:23 p.m. Doug White, the leading man at the helm of the Hollywood Theater, takes his seat with his lovely wife. 7:25 p.m. The last ticket for Salt of the Earth is sold. Full house! 7:26 p.m. Oh look, it's my ex-boyfriend and his partner sitting right behind me. Yay, me! 7:27 p.m. The descendant of one of the miners who the film is based on flashes a smile at me. She happens to live in Portland. She contacted me to say she's touched. We are screening the film. I ask her to welcome the audience with me. 7:30 p.m., we take center stage. All eyes on her, and all eyes on me. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Olin Social Justice Film Series. A little background about how this series came to be. My friend at the Hollywood, Doug, reached out to me a few weeks after the election, and he asked how I was doing. And I said, I remember telling him, I said, it feels like we've been bombed and that we're at war. I told them that at work we've been answering calls from schools. They're asking for advice on how to deal with the bullying already happening to our students. And we're getting phone calls from parents who want to know their rights. Some program youth are scared that their families may get separated. Wow, he says. That is really maddening and sad. I've realized what a liberal bubble I have been living in. And I'm truly shocked to finally understand the deep racism that permeates our country so deeply. So whatever you need, Joaquin, the theater is yours. So, I took this information back to my leadership team, and this film series was born. Salt of the Earth. It profiles the struggles of workers against brutal conditions and treatment due to corporate negligence. Protagonist Esperanza Quintero, the wife of a protesting miner, must combat sexism and racism on both sides of the conflict to build a better future for her family. I introduce to you Marissa, a descendant of one of the miners who the film is based on. Give her a round of applause. Thank you. The word Olin is derived from the ancient Nahuatl word Yolotl, meaning heart, and the word Yolisli, meaning life, an expression of immense depth that conveys intense and immediate movement. Olin means to move and act now with all your heart. So thank you for being here and for being part of the movement. So, my friends, are you ready for the film? I can't hear you, City of Portland. Are you ready for the film? Yes. Good, my friends. So I present to you Salt of the Earth. Shine away. I'll be coming for your love. Okay, take on me. I know you know the song. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. So I'm a board member of the Hollywood Theater, and one of our best assets, I think, is our popcorn. It is so bleepin' good. Hands down, the best in town. So, I grab my popcorn, I sit dead center, settle into my seat, the movie begins. Actually, let's take two. I grab my popcorn, I check my Facebook, I see who's posted, who's liked me, who's loved me, who's angry with me. I upload a photo, I silence my iPhone, settle into my seat, and the movie begins. Actually, let's take three. Take three. Oh my God! I love this popcorn! It is so good! Coupled with an IPA, it's my dinner. Thank God for beer. It's time to relax, be proud of my accomplishments, and relish in what I was able to accomplish. To bring together a social service and an arts nonprofit, an elected and appointed official for a talkback, a connection with a descendant of the family who the movie was based on. I was even able to accomplish being cool with my ex-boyfriend sitting right behind me with his partner. I mean, like, whatever, right? I look at the screen. I don't remember the film beginning in silence. I watched the film in December, and I recall a woman using an axe to splinter wood for fire with a triumphant march playing behind her. And now I'm reading Prix spécial un certain regard Festival de Cannes. Oh, wow, Carmen whispered loudly into my ear. I didn't know this won an award at Cannes. It didn't, I thought to myself. I look at the screen and I read, Desia Films presents, with the support of La Région Île-de-France, les Amis de la Maison Européenne de la Photographie, with the participation of Social Service of Commerce, SESC. Oh, that's fine. And Espírito Santo State Department of Cultural Affairs, Brazil. A film by Wim Wenders and Juliano Ribeiro Salgado. And then I hear the ominous voice of a man say, a film about the life of a photographer? Maybe it's good at the beginning to remember where the word came from. In Greek, photo means light. Graph was writing, drawing. A photographer is literally somebody drawing with light. A man writing and rewriting the world with lights and shadows. And before you know it, a black and white photographic still of a mining scene slowly reveals, and a man speaking in French begins to narrate. Immediately, I get up from my seat and zoom to the projection booth, and I tell the projectionist, this is not the movie. What are you talking about? This is the movie they gave me, he says. Yes, you're right. But this movie was made in 2014 and is also called Salt of the Earth. The one I need is from 1954. Well, we don't have that movie, he says. Doug White, the AD of the Hollywood, walks into the projection booth. Hey, what's going on? And then I say, there are two movies called Salt of the Earth. One is from 1954 and the other from 2014. And I know that the movie that's playing right now is showing a still shot of a mining scene, but it's not the movie. And I think to myself, what were the chances? Can we play the movie from a download, I ask. I have it on Amazon Prime, or we can get it from YouTube. Joaquin, that's not the problem, Doug says. The Hollywood theater has really old, thick walls, and Wi-Fi connection is really bad. At this point, my friends, I don't know what to do. There is nothing I can do. I've been producing cultural and performance events for a good 10 years, and I've learned how to respond when things go wrong, and I know how to fill in the gaps. But right now, at this moment, with a full house waiting, watching the wrong movie, there is nothing I can do. Listen, Joaquin, I'm gonna call Movie Madness and see if they have the movie, Doug says. Okay, well, you gotta tell the audience something because I can't go out there. So Doug goes out there and he says, hey everyone, it looks like we've got a little mix-up with the movies. We are working on it. My stomach is in knots. I want to vomit. My legs are shaking. I am in shock. I just spent the last month promoting and making this happen. Everything is falling apart. There is nothing I can do. I'm lightheaded. I want the world to open its mouth and swallow me alive and take me into its arm and hide me away forever deep inside its hot molten core. I want to die. Like not literally, but literally. I am so humiliated and confused and powerless, I had to sit down. Joaquin, I just called Movie Madness, Doug says. They have a copy on hand. I'm gonna zoom on over, pick up the movie, and be right back, Doug says. Meanwhile, I'll let the audience know what is happening. We decide for the projectionist to play Salt of the Earth from YouTube channel, while he leaves to Movie Madness to fetch the DVD. Needless to say, at odds and ends, but I feel stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay. Say after me, so much better to be safe than sorry. I am in the projection booth, watching the film. The Wi-Fi reception is so bad that the movie image cuts out, and all we hear is dialogue. What is the audience thinking of me? That I must be some crazy Latino artist who can't manage details, be organized, and double-check his work. I double-checked everything. I have to hold it together, because otherwise, I am that crazy Latino guy who flies off the handle, who can't manage his emotions. Then no one is going to want to work with me, and I represent Latino Network. And then no one is going to want to work with Latino Network. And Latino Network represents the Latino community. And so then no one's going to want to work with the Latino community. And my mind goes on and on. The movie image comes back. And then it cuts out again. Black screen. And all we hear is dialogue. Oh, what are Diego and Andrea thinking of me? That I can't organize events that merit the time of elected and appointed officials? They must be embarrassed for me. Then the movie image comes back, and then it cuts out again. What is Carmen thinking of me? How is she going to frame this to the people that she knows in the audience? I've embarrassed her. Then the movie comes back, and then it cuts out again. What is Marissa, the descendant, thinking of me? What a humiliation to her family. All this pride tonight for nothing. Then the movie image comes back. And then it cuts out again. And I think, what is my ex-boyfriend thinking of me? That I'm a total loser. Then I hear Doug say, okay everyone, I got the film. Just give us a second and we'll put the DVD in and we'll pick it up right where we left off. Oh my gosh. The audience applauded. Applause. Say after me, it's so much better to be safe than sorry. Take on me, take me on. It turns out the wrong version of Salt of the Earth was ordered. When the projectionist tested the film, he tested for sound and image quality. The first movie image was a mining scene. The movie was of a mining town, so we were good to go. What were the chances, right? Thank God for Movie Madness. Thank God Doug was in the audience. And talk about being prepared and ready to go. At the end of the movie, Diego and Andrea take center stage, talk about the issues of racism and sexism in their work and lives. Marissa comes up to me and thanks me for all my hard work. She was very proud that Salt of the Earth was part of this film series. Carmen felt for me and was impressed we were able to respond so successfully and so quickly. And my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, Well, he left without saying goodbye, so like, whatever, right? Shine away. I'll be coming for your love, okay, take on me, take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two, in a day or two. Thank you very much, you guys. Isn't that crazy? Next slide. Holy moly. So what stood out to you? What surprised you? Any clarification in the story you might need? What would you have done? Or who would you have blamed? Or who's responsible? Or whose responsibility was it ultimately? Any of those things, raise your hand if you have a reaction. Yes?
It took me a minute to figure out that we were literally replaying every event. So I think the transition into understanding that was a little maybe longer than you were thinking it would be, probably. So a better introduction into how the sequence, what we were about to experience literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Right, because it was so in present tense.
Yeah.
Instead of being like telling you a story. Yeah, okay, that's
Constructive,
good.
right?
What's that?
Constructive.
Yeah,
right?
I know, I love it. Let me tell you something. When you are in your imagination and you are like self-oriented, because I'm seeing everything from my vantage point, it's hard to, you need that objective, you know? So I actually really appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, I saw something over here. Someone raised a hand over here. Yes.
I thought you were going to play the guitar and just go have silence and you tell the story.
At the movie or today?
At the movie.
At the movie, you know, I had thought about doing that, right? But I didn't have my guitar on me that night. And I remember even thinking before I left home, I should bring my guitar, because you never know. But I didn't. And yeah, I just showed up, and everything was normal. Everything was happening as we expected. And then all of a sudden, this thing unfolded. Yeah. Yeah. Any other reactions? Yes.
I really appreciate all the thoughts that went through your head. Each one of us has a super fast, super self-critical, well, frequently people have a super fast, super self-critical view and self-talk that way. And putting yourself responsible for the event and the way that you can see the impact in others, I appreciated that about the story very much because I relate to that. If you make a mistake, look at who you could affect and how it affects.
Yeah, look at who it could affect and how it could affect them, and then you're responsible. And then at the same time, as you're responsible, you have no power for your responsibility. And that's a really unfair place to be a lot of times that we find ourselves in. And so it's like, how do you move forward with that? And you know, as I was developing this story, I developed the story just for you guys. Like no one's ever heard this before, so I think this is yours. And as I was thinking about change management and what do you need to be flexible and to go with the flow, I thought to myself, but wait, did anything actually change? And it's something that sat with me because in the end, was I able to hold the change? And I'll be honest with you guys, I was so traumatized that I couldn't think. I had to sit myself down. Anything else? Any other comments? Yes?
Joaquin, you kept saying better safe than sorry. Can you elaborate? What were you thinking when you said that?
Yeah. So, I was going to mention this later on in the next slide, but I'll mention it now. So, better safe than sorry. As a kid growing up in Portland, being Latino, owning a restaurant, and just being in the world, I've noticed that there's certain misfires that happen. A lot of times the misfires happen in details, they happen in communication, and they happen in just how we communicate. A lot of it is because my mind works differently, because I learned Spanish was my first language, and then English became my stronger language, so sometimes I feel I think differently, and so I'm always super conscious and self-conscious of the misfires possible. So that phrase that used to say, oh, better to be safe than sorry. So I'm always safe. Like, I confirm everything. I created a timeline. I sat down with all the elected officials. I sat down with Doug, with Carmen. Everybody knew what was happening. There was, if like, for some reason I couldn't show up, the show could still go on. So I have learned over the years to adapt that much, because it is better to be safe than sorry, and it's better to have it all planned out, and then you can let it go, instead of like not having it planned out and expect people to go along. And I learned that as a theater artist, because in theater you make all these plans, you rehearse and practice, and then you just let it go, right? So for me, the better to be safe than sorry is just like, I just double checked, I crossed all my T's, I dotted all my I's, I spoke to everybody. I even remember, my friends, emailing saying, yes, and be sure it's Salted the Earth from 1954. The press release that said Salted the Earth, parentheses, 1954, like it did on the slide. And we were all like clear. That was all really clear. It was all really clear. But in this chain of command, we have me and then Doug, the ED. We're talking, making decisions. And then these decisions go to the person that orders the film. The person that orders the film. It gets in his hand. Then he hands it off to the projectionist. So we're already two generations away, right? And then the projectionist instructions are to check the film, make sure the sound quality works. The sound works and that the image quality is kosher. And then and we're good to go. So he did that, and all he knew was that it was a film about a mining town, right? And so this is where God and the universe just like wanted to slap me in the face. How is it that two films with the same title begin with black and white images of a mining town? I don't know how that happened. And it's a 1 in a million. And the guy, and as we were troubleshooting this, and we were thinking to ourselves, okay, where did we drop the ball? And Doug and I just kept going back and forth. Well, we realized that when we put in the order for the 2014. And when it came, we didn't catch it, because when we tested it, we were testing for image and sound. And it was a mining scene. So look, there was nothing there to communicate that there was anything wrong until you're there. Yeah. Any other responses? Yeah.
I guess one of the other things that stood out about your story was that the end goal was so reached. And
Yeah.
you still had a panel with the elected officials there, and you still honored the families, that the community was able to experience this important film that they hadn't been able to experience before. But along the way, there were all these obstacles to get in the way. But in the end, it went off the way it should have, except for perhaps the start and stop time.
Exactly. You're right. All those things did happen. Let's go to my next slide, because I think it'll lead us into it. So this is my crazy working definition of change management. When things change without my control or input, and I have to move forward, contribute, and play along with everyone, and sometimes even with a smile. And the effect it has on me is like deeply personal. I was in this situation where I had no control, and I had to like hold it together, and I had to smile, and I remember thinking to myself, okay, just calm down, and just speak facts, and move things along. Because when you're in that space of stress, you cannot be reactive, because if you're reactive, what happens? Other people start reacting, and before you know it, it just starts falling apart. So I just knew I had to keep it together. And then I had this added pressure of like, okay, I'm a Latino dude, and people are gonna think if I just blow up that I'm a crazy Latino dude blowing up the handle, and I'm emotional, and I'm an artist, and I'm like unorganized and all that, and I didn't want to feel that. So I just had to like be really deliberate and conscious about what I was saying. Next slide. So what I learned with Movie Madness and with all the other experiences in my life with La Bonita, with Latino Network, is that at first, with the change in an organizational structure or in an event, it's the effect. The first effect is deeply personal. Like, I was thrown off. I was completely thrown off. I could not have thrown myself off better. I was completely thrown off. I was confused. And it was very unsettling for me to know that I was in the middle of the theater. Everybody had seen me sit in the middle of the theater. And then the movie began. And then it was the wrong movie. And my executive director sitting right next to me. And I'm like, holy shit. So getting up and then moving to the projection booth, everybody was seeing me. And I was in total distress. And I was so tired. I was so tired going through all of that I remember thinking, if I vomit, I can't even vomit because I didn't eat anything for dinner, except my beer and popcorn, right? Next slide. And then there was a shift in attitude, even within those 20 minutes, because it was 20 minutes of the movie playing from the YouTube channel, going dark, and then the sound continuing, and then the images coming back. And it did that for 20 minutes straight. And I was in the projection booth dying, right? So once the movie was put in place, the audience clapped, yay! And I rested, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I just accepted it. I just accepted that this is just how it is. And we're gonna move forward, it's gonna be fine. And I let it go. And I went with the flow. And then at some point, I was like, that was kind of good. Like, wow, I don't want to ever do that again, but that was really good. We got through it, we worked as a team. And then I started feeling, wow, throw me something else. What else couldn't I adapt to? And then I said to myself, I sure prefer, I'm thankful for this experience, but I don't want anything crazy like that to happen to me again, right? Because you can't do it all the time. You need structure. You need support, stability. You need a return. You need to always return to something that's familiar. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel attached, and those things are really good. So yeah, I don't need to experience this ever again. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
A couple of thoughts. First of all, the first time I've ever really understood the lyrics of that song.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
I remember being in the charts. It was one of my favorites when I was a teenager.
I never understood. I don't even understand what he's saying, but I think he's from Sweden. Sweden.
Yeah, the band was from Sweden. So
And the pronunciation is different.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the film ordering thing, I got to that myself on Amazon, where you have a bunch of ordering copies of The Odyssey, and like 5 versions of The Odyssey. And I knew I saw the one I wanted to order, I couldn't figure it out, so I get all that. But the thing I was thinking of was, many of us have lived that in our workplace. It would be delivered PowerPoint presentations. It would be delivered a PowerPoint presentation. You arrive with your flash drive, right? And it won't load. Or the computer is updating. It's like, oh my God, it's taking an hour to download these updates from Microsoft. Right? I mean, I did that. And we've learned the second time it happens to bring the hard copy.
Yeah.
So you can hand out like the slides on a piece of paper, even if they're stamp size, it's still better than having nothing, right?
Yeah.
But then, what happens if you don't have the hard copy?
Yeah.
And so there's like a vacuum of chaos, right? And how do you fill it? And then that was an opportunity to fill the vacuum. And you want to, as a leader, you want to fill that vacuum as a manager of that incident. Fill it well and use it as an opportunity to take people somewhere better or pleasing.
So what do you think in the story? Doug did something to fill that vacuum. What did he do? Does anybody remember the ED of the Hollywood? What he did? He put it on YouTube, but even more than that, he communicated with the audience the breakdown that had happened. And he said to them, we've got a mix-up with movies, we are working on it, and just give us a moment. And the audience was like, okay. And then when he returned, he said, okay, everybody, I got the movie. No, he said that at the beginning. And then when he was going to Movie Madness, he goes back up to the stage and he says, okay, you guys, so here's the plan. I am going to go to Movie Madness. I'm going to pick up the DVD. They have it on hold for us. So just hold tight, watch the film on YouTube, and then we'll pick up from where we left off with the DVD. And everybody was like, okay. And I think I even heard like some people like clap. And it turns out that the audience rather enjoyed the crisis. They rather enjoyed that. It was like, wow, we're in something, something's happening right now, like this is for real, right? With a really old movie. So, yeah, I think that's the trick that happened was communication and honest communication. And he said, you know, we have a mix-up, I'm gonna go to Movie Madness, I'm gonna pick up the DVD. And then when he came back, he told everybody, okay everyone, I've got the DVD, and we're good to go. I think, are we at time? Yeah, okay. Let's go through the slides really quick. Forward. So I'm going to leave you guys with these questions that I thought about with this event and with change management, because there's so much about understanding from my experience. It's just not knowing the questions to ask. So when talking to anybody, when I'm setting something up, I always say to myself, what do I not understand? Is there something I don't understand? Or what information do I not have to make sense of all of this? What am I bringing to the table, and what do I own? As far as like in Movie Madness, I brought in all my insecurities about being a Latino culture producer, right? Those are mine. And what are you bringing to the table, and what can you own? The Hollywood theater, they ordered the wrong film, and they owned up to it. What is my role, and what is your role? And can you help me understand how to understand this? I think that's my favorite question ever. Can you help me understand how to understand this? So I think, my friends, with that, I leave you for the rest of the day. Thank you so much for your time. And next time, yeah, if you need to contact me, there's an email, my phone number, or you can go to my website. All right, take care. Adios.
Joaquin Lopez.